Live, back at it. Post draft nosebleed section. I'm your host, as always, Mr. 98%, aka Joe. I'm back with my team, the usual suspects. I'm here with Paulinho, Mr. Kayvon Neal. I wonder who he's a fan
Yeah.
of, and Jaquan Turner. What's up, fellas? What's going on?
What up?
Chilling,
What up?
chilling.
What's up, JoJo?
So tonight we're gonna get into a little bit about, as the title would say, we're gonna get into our post draft grades. We're gonna talk about some of the teams that we felt impressed us and some of the teams that we kind of looked at them kind of head scratched like, the hell are you thinking doing this? So and then we'll talk about obviously our Jets and Giants, what we feel that they did right, things that they could have probably improved on, and things going forward. What we possibly think any other news that might come out or has come out, because I know for you Giants fans, there has been some Giants news that has come out post draft. So we'll get right into it. We'll go. I guess we'll go down the line first of teams that we felt could have did better in the draft. Paul, would you want to start us off? You want what team do you feel that could have did better in the draft? I'd say.
Honestly, I believe that the Titans could have done better because of the fact of what they gave up for AJ Brown. Um, yeah, they got Trent Burks replaced, but I think they could have got more for that pick or for AJ Brown. Maybe they could have moved up. Who knows? But they could have got more. Look at Tyreek Hill. He's not a Tyreek Hill on that level yet, but the fact that you literally get him on still on a rookie contract, I think another year or two.
Okay.
How much longer on the rookie contract, Jay? You know?
I know he signed a 4-year extension.
For who?
AJ Brown.
Yeah,
They
before
get-
the 4-year extension, though.
Yeah.
Before he signed the extension, what was the
I, I
contract?
I believe that AJ Brown was in his third year. I'm not absolutely sure on that one, but I believe he had already
So
completed
yeah,
his
he
third
may
year.
have one more year of like rookie money, and then he gets the extension
Yeah, so literally you
along
have
with the signing bonus that he's probably already gonna get once you sign the extension. So
so literally you had him on a one more year, but you had to just work on it. So you literally could have gotten more for him. You know, the Titans. I believe the Titans dropped the ball on that one. They could have got more for AJ Brown than what they got. Yeah, they got Traylon Burks, but they got that, and then now they got Malik Willis, which is fine. You need a quarterback for the future because Tannehill, like, if you guys saw what I said about the Titans quarterback, Tannehill is not your answer. He never
I was about
was.
to say if anybody saw the chat that we had earlier.
I'm about to
Yeah.
say everybody knows Ty Tannehill is not good. Like he's just not good. We all know that. Like
Um, so Tannehill was never your answer, and now because of this draft, he literally just freaked out, and he's like, "I'm not a mentor. I'm not training him nothing." So he's got to figure it out on his own. So
yeah, bro, he's got players calling him out. DJ Reed was like, "So y'all on the same team, and this is how you react to it? You supposed to be the leader of the team?"
here's the thing, though. Here's the thing he doesn't realize, and this is the thing he doesn't realize. He literally is going to be a casualty of the cap next year
Mm-hmm.
because of the fact he's only going to cost him $10 million in dead money and save him another $30 million after they cut him post June 1st. So mentor him or not, your ass is grass next year, bro.
And there's not a lot of teams. I mean, maybe. Well, no. After next season, like when all those quarterbacks may be coming out, the only hope he has is if the quarterbacks that are supposed to come out don't come out, which isn't going to happen because the quarterback class next year is stacked. So nobody's going to want him as a veteran guy, especially now. The way he's reacted, like no one's going to want him on a team with a young quarterback.
No,
I didn't even watch them.
so you're gonna have you're gonna have like at least like Stroud, Bryce, Jerkovic, Rattler, uh, another one Van Dyke. You're gonna have like
I have
you're gonna
Caleb
have
coming out.
Slovis, maybe Caleb Williams. Like you're gonna have at least like 6 to 7 quarterbacks that may have a first round grade on them next year, or like a second or something. Somebody's gonna be there where it's like I can have this, or I can have Ryan
Tannehill.
Tannehill who only works in this system and is going to be in his 30 plus and is going to want to ask for like stupid money when he doesn't deserve it. So
but I'm gonna feel bad for the quarterbacks next year because not all of them gonna go in the first round. Some of them are gonna drop to second, maybe third. So teams picking them up in second and third are getting quality quarterbacks in position.
might be a better deal to wait for him though.
Honestly, because the way that this draft went, where everybody kind of traded back to try and get capital, I feel like a lot more teams are going to move up because they'll have the capital to do so, and everybody's going to want that 50-year option. So I think you're going to see a run the way we did on like the way the receivers kind of flew off the board this year. You're going to see a run like that on the quarterbacks.
They're like what? Like I think 6 receivers taken in the first round. All in
Yeah,
the top 20.
yeah. In the top 20, that was the record. They got 6 receivers in the top 20.
Picks are going to be at a premium next year, man. To move up,
Yeah.
My man Jameson Williams being pick number 12 made me an easy 300 bones.
He was another guy that like he's gonna have a crazy chip. Can't wait to see him come back.
People are already like, of course, people are already taking pictures of him. Like, you see, he's like not smiling, like he's not happy to be in.
Nah,
Detroit.
bro, he's locked in. He's locked in.
Yeah, I hope he is.
He might be like that, but I don't think it's a big deal because of the fact like he has to. I think he look at it like I don't want to go to Detroit, but at the end of the day, he's looking at yo.
I don't
Because it's an ACL injury. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna show you this is nothing. I'm gonna do my thing, and it is what it is. After that, he might.
The biggest thing, I don't even think it had anything to do with Detroit. People are trying to make it like, oh, he's mad he went to Detroit. No.
Yeah.
He's mad that he transferred from Ohio State to get away from the 2 guys that he felt like outshined him. He felt like he played better than them this past season, and still went after both of those guys. I think he's more upset that Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave went before him.
Yeah, and it's only because of the ACL injury.
It's only because of the ACL, because he's easily the top wide receiver in this class.
Mm-hmm.
But the 2 teams that took him can't afford to wait. I mean, the 2 teams that picked before them can't afford to wait. So
yeah, the 2 teams that picked Garrett Wilson, they couldn't wait. I mean, like we know, Jay, we can't wait for him to come back from the ACL. If he was 100% no ACL injury, taking him, we would have taken him
easily.
You know,
easily.
Same thing with the Saints. Saints got like Michael Thomas might be gone. They need a starting a day 1 receiver they can count on.
Yep.
You know. And like I always said, the Lions will be the Lions. So I'm not surprised.
Well, listen, I think the Lions are going to have a nice little something over there. Hopefully,
yep.
I mean, if Goff can pull something together, like they went out and they got their franchise tackle in Sewell. They got a good old line. They went and got Jameson, put him on the other side of St. Brown.
And now they got a cornerstone on defense.
Yeah,
and if Okudah comes back and is anything, now you got a linchpin on in your secondary.
I'm saying, like, I'm not saying they're gonna go out and win the NFC North.
Yeah, I mean, again, they're not gonna win anything, but they could definitely steal some games next season. Where they're not gonna win. Like, they're not gonna win 2 games next season. They're definitely gonna win more than 2 games.
Oh yeah. Especially
if those guys click and those guys buy in and the culture starts to change, and Jameson
the
Williams comes back and
win games next year.
Well, here's the thing.
Again, Jameson Williams comes back in maybe October and gives them a little bit of, and the offense coordinator can get a little creative because now you got him and you got Amon-Ra St. Brown. And then on top of that, you got, what's his name? Hawkinson. And then you have Swift. Like you got some boys over there, man. Like
they got some pieces.
Like you got some
pieces
over there, bro.
They do. They might split with most everybody in that division.
Well, like people are thinking Kirk Cousins is gonna sit up there and get them wins. Like the Vikings really ain't shit. Let's keep it a buck. Like outside Justin, the Vikings really ain't shit. Vikings really ain't. And Chicago damn sure ain't shit.
Detroit has an improvement. They made an improvement, yes. But everybody else, like, they went down. Like, Packers, Aaron Rodgers has no receiver. His leading receiver is Lazard. Like, he's like a number 3.
Hey, put some respect on Christian Watson's name, bro. Stop playing.
Like, you gotta see what you're gonna get. You're gonna see what you gotta get out of him first. But I mean, he's a talented kid. Very talented.
Him and Romeo Doubs, like,
I mean, Devin Smith was good too when we drafted him, and the injuries came in and messed him up.
Devin Smith.
Oh, he was good.
You really just compared him to Devin Smith? Like,
I don't think he was good. Devin Smith was just a deep ball threat. Just bomb the deep.
Not even that. Homeboy was already injury prone. Like, it's not like this kid is injury prone. He just has focus drops. Like, stop acting like Christian Watson was shit last year. Like, he's not. And then you got Romeo Dobbs. Like, they low key got, and then they added 2 beasts on defense. Like
I'm not gonna sit up here and say the Packers like.
Wait. Here's where I'm going. Look at Chicago. Chicago also on the offensive side. They're not giving Justin Fields any weapons.
Oh no, Chicago ain't shit. That's why I ain't even talk about.
No, they're not.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. That division is wide open.
I wouldn't say it's wide open now.
Like, wide open.
Chill. I'm not gonna say it's wide open. Like,
I'll say second place is wide open.
That Green Bay is still far and away the best team in that division. Like, chill. Like, there's no. You can't look at a roster right now and be like, oh, they got a shot to win the division.
We gonna see.
I'm taking Green Bay all day in that division.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all motherfuckers.
You don't know what you're gonna get out of Justin Fields. He has limited weapons. I mean, he has Mooney, and then he has he has Montgomery. Like, he has 12 tight ends. I don't know. Like, the Bears are just a weird team. The Bears are a weird team. The who else? The Vikings. The Vikings.
They got JJ and they got Thielen, but Thielen's over 30. You don't know what you're gonna get from him. JJ's gonna JJ cool, but
here's the thing.
Their top receiver is what? Chris Herndon. I mean, their top tight end is what? Chris Herndon.
Probably because you guys took Conklin, so I mean.
And the thing, remember, Cousins, I think, signed a 1-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. All I know is that Kirk Cousins is still their quarterback, and so their ceiling is pretty low.
He's only going to go as far as
only there or 9. He's only there to keep that seat warm for what's his name, the one that they drafted last year.
Kellen Mond, man, this is last year. Kellen Mond stepping up.
That's what I'm saying.
Kellen Mond will be starting next year, man.
Come on, man. Come on, yeah, they gonna be right at the top of the draft trying to get a quarterback.
Come on now. No, they're not. They're going to overachieve and win 7 games and put themselves out of the running for a quarterback.
And then they're going to trade one of them damn edge rushers, one of them motherfucking. They're going to trade somebody to try to get back into the mix. I'm telling you. They probably going to trade Kirk Cousins.
I'm going to say this right now.
Nobody want him.
if by the halfway point, that division is wide open,
it's gonna be because at the end of the day, be 5-1. Everybody's gonna be 2-3.
Green Bay still has a better running game. They can still depend on their running.
Yeah,
they can still depend on their offensive line. They still have decent enough receivers that are coming back, where there may not be the big plays. There may not be the same consistency that you saw with Devontae Adams.
Yeah, there's no making up that production this year.
Proven it yet to be oh, this division's wide open. There is no team that's a threat where I can look at it and be they can fuck around and sneak in. The team that's they can fuck around and sneak in right now is the Lions. The rest of that division ain't shit, really.
It's really not. It's really not right as of now. Benji, what are you thinking? Benji, what's your team that did not impress you in the draft that you?
He did. The team that didn't impress him was Tennessee. What team actually?
No, that was Paul.
That was me.
What team actually impressed you though?
Oh, what team?
We're getting to that. We're going to get to that.
We're doing the
yeah. I got you. Benji, go ahead. This guy's getting too far ahead of himself.
I wasn't going to actually go for a team that really didn't impress me because I had really just gotten through the teams that did. I will actually save that for when we do our own teams and everything. And that's not foreshadowing on anything crazy or anything like that. It's just me. I'll save that for when we start talking about the Giants.
So the Giants didn't impress you. Your own team didn't impress you.
What I'm basically saying is what we did was a lot of what that tells me is that we're not looking to do anything crazy this year. All we're doing right now is setting up for what is going to be something crazy coming in 2022 or the 2023 season.
That's pretty much what I read and everything. We were on forums and stuff, so yeah, it makes sense.
So what I mean by it is like I'm not gonna come at it as like all right, it's a disappointment. All I'm gonna say is that they did not impress me as much as they could have because of what they're trying to do and what they're trying to set up.
Okay, you want to be all loophole around the box shit.
Pretty
Good
much.
man. Jay, what about you? What team?
Um,
What team did not impress you in the draft?
I'm gonna go with another team in you guys' division. The Washington Commanders. Like, I was kind of disappointed. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I get Terry McLaurin is suspect, so you went and got Jahan Dotson. Like, I like Jahan Dotson. Don't get me wrong. That's like one of the picks I like. But then you come back and got Perry. What's his name? Fedarian Mathis, and it's like I get it, but I also don't get it. Like, how many fucking times are you guys gonna keep adding to the defensive line? Like, I'm like, you guys really did not. There's so many other places that you could have improved this team. A lot probably safety, where like it just wasn't necessary. Like, I like the Brian Robinson pick because it gives you what y'all lost with Darius, what they lost with Darius Geis. But then you fuck around and got Sam Howell, and it's like it's a value pick, sure, but he's behind Carson Wentz and probably behind Tyler Heineke. So it's like I more feel bad for Sam Howell. Like, I'm not even mad that they took him. I'm hurt for Sam Howell. Like, fuck, bro. They got you in the 5th round. They got
Yeah,
some no-name safety, Percy Butler from Louisiana. They got Cole
nobody
Turner,
like.
which, I like Cole Turner, but on that Washington team, like, you know, he's probably at best case Kyle Rudolph, like
I mean,
after the injuries.
Carson Wentz's best friend has been his tight end. So I mean, if you're gonna and Ricky Seals Jones was like the man for Heineke. So I mean, if you're gonna get a tight end for a quarterback, I see it. You're gonna use Cole Turner. They're gonna have Logan Thomas over there.
But see, if that's the way you're gonna look at it, and I'm like, all right, cool, fine. If that's how you're gonna look at it, why not draft a tight end earlier? It's my thing. Like, why would you wait until then to get Cole? Like, I'm not knocking Cole Turner, but you had a
There are other
lot better
prospects.
options. And like, I forgot what team got 2 fucking tight ends. Like, one team got Isaiah Likely and fucking
The Ravens.
Baltimore.
yeah, like they went and got Isaiah Likely and they got somebody else
Yeah, they got
before you went and took Turner.
and
They took
Kolar.
Kolar.
Yeah, so it's like, really? Like, and then they went and got Chris Paul and Charles Holmes too. Like, Chris Paul, I heard some good things about, but I was like, eh.
I saw Chris Paul and I laughed
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
so
was
did
just
I.
like, eh.
because
Like,
I'm a child.
it's just, eh. Like, you had enough capital to do something that could really help Carson Wentz and really just help you. Like, it feels like they went and got Carson Wentz to appease the whole like Commanders transition, but also it feels like they're fully expecting him to get hurt, be out for the year, so that they can be in play for a quarterback in like next year's draft. So
He
I'm
just
just like,
sounds like he's turning into like another like Sam Bradford
yeah, kind
all
of.
guy every year.
And it's just like again, I like the Jahan Dotson pick. I kind of love the Jahan Dotson pick because he's a perfect complement to Terry McLaurin. And then I like the Brian Robinson pick. I just didn't expect him in the 3rd round personally, but okay, like,
Yeah,
all right. I think he was what, like the 3rd or 4th running back off the board. I was like, all right, like, not the way I would have gone, but
it was a strange draft for running backs, definitely.
yeah,
I mean, it's what we've been saying though. It's like it's whatever you like. It's like what's your flavor, I guess, of running back.
yeah. So I mean, like, if you want like he's a big, heavy back that's gonna it's really gonna help a guy like Carson Wentz because he's gonna take most of the blows instead of Carson Wentz sitting up there holding the ball all day and getting sacked. So like, I get it, but again, that's why I just didn't like Washington's draft. Because I'm like, it's not that it was bad. It's just you had so many better options to improve in key areas that you just didn't. It's like you hit all the points, but you did it in the wrong order. Like, I just don't, I don't understand. Like, I don't like at 16. Like, again, the 16 one I get. Like, you moved up. They moved up to pretty much wide receiver row, but it's like you got the last guy, and even if like I would also understand if they would have went and got Treylon Burks, just because he's more of a gadget utility kind of receiver. But you pretty much got a guy that can complement Terry McLaurin, but he's also pretty much a replacement for Terry McLaurin. So it's like, are you trade like is your big master plan to trade Terry McLaurin for picks and then try to move up next year? Like, is if that's the plan, then cool, I get it. But it's also kind of a waste if you're saying that like, oh, Terry McLaurin's your guy, he's in camp, he's a leader, X, Y, and Z. Like, what are you doing? Like, just that team is just a bunch of like, what the fuck? From the ownership down, it's just what the fuck, bro.
It's the owner, bro. It's the owner. Always been the owner.
He's still there, which is like
it's the whole organization. Like
he owns the team, so what can you do? Yeah, the organization's just dysfunctional. It doesn't matter.
The whole organization, like the whole shit from top to bottom. Like I feel for the players. I really feel for the players.
I was just surprised at where Dotson went. Like, what were like 16, 14, something like that?
16.
I'm just like, really? Like, yeah, the run on receivers, I get it. I get that. But like, I'm just like, wow, like, pick 16, Jahan Dotson? Really? Like,
you kind of had to reach for him.
You're a State fan, so you know.
Yeah, like.
But again, in that case, they had to reach for him because look at who went before him. Like you had what? You had Drake London, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Jameson Williams, and I don't even remember who was 14, 15, and then they came back and got Jahan Dotson. And then fucking Treylon Burks went 18. So, I mean, like...
I guess you kind of had to go get what you wanted when you have the chance. Ah, man. I don't know.
I mean, at best, the one thing I can give them is that apparently the positive about Dotson is that he has the best hands in the draft. So, I mean, if you got shit quarterback play, like, at least you go and get the receiver with the shortest hands because at least he can't fuck it up that much. Like, you can't fuck it up that much. You're still going to fuck it up, but you can't fuck it up that much.
We say that, but there's a reason Carson's been getting traded, so.
Because he can't fucking stay healthy. It's not even that he plays bad, he just can't fucking stay healthy.
Here's the thing. Like, you guys are comparing to Sam Bradford. I think Sam Bradford is actually better than him. Sam Bradford
is.
Sam Bradford got you wins, and his injuries just, like, were, like, at the wrong time. Carson Wentz is just...
You're waiting for him to get hurt. Like, at this point, you're just waiting for him to get hurt.
Yeah, you're waiting.
Injuries
Sam
apparently
wasn't hurt.
Apparently, a side note is that RG3 said that he got calls from some NFL teams after he did the run thing and ran a 4.4. I'm like, y'all niggas act like RG3 was broke, bro. Like, he been that man.
My man ran a 4.48 in the 40, and he's getting NFL calls now. Like, okay, he can still run. His legs aren't.
I was like, for what? To be an athlete?
Yeah, like
they ain't gonna come in and be a quarterback. Get out of here.
Exactly. You gonna put him at safety? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, I don't get it.
But the funny thing is, he's still a better option than anybody on Washington. I still start in week 1 over anybody on Washington.
Nah, highly disrespectful. Highly disrespectful.
But none of y'all said I was wrong. None of y'all said I was wrong, though.
Nah, you're wrong. Nah, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. Anyway.
Am I wrong for saying it, or am I wrong in the opinion?
Both.
Fuck out of here.
Both.
Fuck out of here. You gonna play Tyler Heineke over RG3?
Yes, Heineke.
Heineke balled out, bro.
RG3 hasn't been in the league in like 5 years.
My point exactly.
I'm moving on. You're if I could boot you, I would.
Oh my God! I'll find a way. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know you would. You find. As far as the team that
watch your mouth, Jay. Watch your mouth.
For real, man. I wish this was around the horns. I could mute him. Hey, get points away from this man. As far as the team that really like did impress me, and I gotta say, like, it's not really. They usually do it like every year, but it's honestly like the Patriots. Like I just don't see I'm just lost as to what they were doing. Like the first round, you wouldn't get Cole Strange, like from
Okay,
Chattanooga. Yeah, I
I
understand.
will
Like,
say in their defense, he probably was one of the two like best interior linemen left on the board because that shit got stripped quickly in the first round. Like the
like,
offensive lineman got them niggas were
yeah,
sitting up there like,
like
wait, what the fuck?
yo, like I get it. Like, yeah, we watched him fly off the board first round. Like, I get it. But I'm like, yo, like this man, I'm almost positive at some point you could have went up in the second round and got this guy, or maybe even the third, But like,
Nah,
definitely the
he
second
wasn't making
round.
it to the third because
That's
everybody
fine. That you're right. 'Cause everybody was getting that. But then look, you have people like Kennard. You have people like Marquise Hayes. All these people that lasted the sixth round, like that were like the sixth and seventh ranked guard. So it didn't even matter. Like
Smith.
God.
Lacetus, Lacetus, like people that we were sitting up here like the sixth, seventh, eighth ranked, and like guards in the draft, interior linemen in the draft. Like me and Benji were sitting up here like, yo, like why is Kennard still available in the fifth round? Like, and he was like the sixth or seventh best ranked guard. I was hoping Marquise Hayes went undrafted because I was hoping the Giants snapped him right after the draft. I'm like, yo, like if this guy goes undrafted, then of course like he went in sixth round, but like if this guy goes undrafted, it's a potential starter on somebody's team. Maybe not day one, but he might be able to start in a couple games. But like, so I'm sitting here like, yo, Cole Strange. Even if you didn't find Cole Strange, I feel like there are other options that would have been just as good in the second round. So I mean, you go from Cole Strange and then Tyquan Thornton, a receiver from Baylor. Again, another pick where I was just like,
what?
Second, like again, we just talked about how like the receivers got stripped bare and everything. But again, if you have capital, you can always move up. Like if you move up, like Sky Moore went in the second round.
Not even that, bro. What did Marquise Brown go for? Like instead of taking Cole Strange, you could have went and got Hollywood. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, like
come on, dog. like
I'm almost mad at Joe Shane that he just throw a fourth out there and go pick somebody up. Like yo, like pick what 18 gets you Hollywood Brown with that?
No, that
23?
pick 24, 23. That's what it was. Pick 23. And they got Marquise Brown and they got a pick back. That's the shit they got. They got Marquise and a pick. Like how you get a pick?
I'm like, yo, I'm just sitting here looking at just not to go too far off, but I'm like looking at the Patriots draft. And I'm like, you went Cole, you went Tyquan. To me, again, two reaches, at least one round too soon. You go back to back. You go back to back third and fourth round. You take corners. You take Marcus Jones and Jack Jones. Then you go back in the fourth round with your other fourth round pick, and you take Pierre Strong. And I'm like,
that
you
one
already have like.
I like Pierre Strong.
I like it, but you already have like 5 running backs. Like you already have Ramondre Stevenson, Damian Harris, J.J. Taylor, James White. Like you had 5 running backs already. So like you just added a 6th running back. Like,
nah, but that next pick though.
I don't get it.
Yeah,
you know your boy Brett Bailey Zappi. Yeah, I get it. Like, kid might be a stud, but I'm like, you're gonna sit here and you have Mac Jones, you have Brian Hoyer, and now you have Bailey Zappi. I mean, I'm not even mad at that pick. I'm mad at every other pick. Look, Paul quit. Like, Paul quit was happy. Like. I'm sitting here like every other pick. That was like the second best pick to me. Like I'm like, okay,
the best pick was Jason Hayes in the 6th round.
No, I gotta go Andrew Stuber. I gotta go with him because actually starting tackle for Michigan, and playing in the Big Ten against some elite level competition. Like he's actually a pretty good
in the 7th. That's wicked.
And that's what I'm saying. Like
bro, you had to completely fail your test. That's like failing the SATs and getting a 90. It's like having like a 3.2 GPA and failing the SATs. Like, bro,
that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, it's like opposite ends of the spectrum. Like, you went first round for Cole Strange, and then you went to the 7th round and got Stuber, and it's like both are pretty solid. So it's like, did you really need to use your first round pick on this guy? Like. Wouldn't Tyquan Thornton be there in like the 2nd or 3rd round, maybe? Like, come on.
Apparently, the logic was in going to get Strange was that he was the best interior lineman on their board left, and the Patriots' logic was, well, we traded back, so the first round is for us to get a starter. So as long as he's a starter, we're fine. That was the logic that analysts said they came away with for the Patriots.
You also traded Shaq Mason for like peanuts, so it doesn't make sense. Like
nothing.
It doesn't make sense. You traded a Pro Bowl caliber guard for like a 5th round pick.
You know what's crazy though is it feels like this is not a Strange Bill Belichick draft. It just feels
not at all.
Because Tom's not there to cover up the bullshit.
Not at all. It's just yes. It is a Patriots draft because they went out and Patriots don't. It's like they don't play by anybody's rules. They just do whatever they want. Like they do whatever they want. They pick whoever they want, and that's just fine. And that's just it. Like,
what's crazy is that to me the biggest thing was that all but 2 picks were offense. They had 2 defensive picks when they don't really have any linebackers. Like they lost Dante Hightower, I think. Like they lost a bunch of guys on that second level, and it's like you were in range to like get somebody, and you just ain't even getting you ain't even get somebody. You ain't even get a body, like you ain't even get a warm body, bro. Like,
I don't get it.
What?
I don't get it.
I'm like, like if that's the game y'all want to play, like we just gonna throw 13 personnel out there and just be like, fuck it.
Yo, I'm sitting up here. I'm sitting
like,
up here
we running, bro. We just gonna run on y'all niggas. Like that's what I feel. Like, y'all not gonna do this?
Yo, I'm sitting up here. I'm watching the Patriots cuts so heavily. Like I'm sitting outside your running back room. Like, who you gonna cut? Who you gonna cut?
You gonna cut Saquon? Who you cut?
You gonna cut Damian Harris? I'll take him. You gonna cut Ramondre Stevenson after the first year? I'll take him. Go ahead. I dare you. Cut somebody. Cut J.D. Taylor. I'll take him too. I don't care. Like, cause I'm looking at the Giants. The funny thing
is, I feel like the cut that's gonna come is N'Keal Harry because they couldn't even find a fucking trade partner for him. They were trying to trade him all draft.
I mean he might too, but like I just. Like running back wise, I'm just like you ain't rocking with 6 running backs in your room. Like it's not happening.
You do imagine they take 6 running backs, like 4 tight ends that have like 3 receivers.
That'd be disgusting. Just N'Keal Harry, Tyquan Thornton, and somebody they undrafted free agent they pick up.
It's like we just gonna run laterals all day.
That's it.
Yeah, niggas just run. We gonna put Mac in the gym and just make him throw.
My God, man. Yeah, I really didn't understand the Patriots draft, yo. I didn't understand it. Like, again, I feel Cole Strange was one of the bigger reaches in the draft. And like I said, to go back-to-back picks, take 2 corners, and that's not going to make up for, who's his name, J.C. Jackson. It's not going to make up for him at all. And then, again, Pierre Strong is a good running back. And I know the Giants are actually looking at him, too, have some pre-draft visits with him. But, like, again, you have 6 running backs in your room. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. I guess my favorite pick in all this is probably it's probably Stuber. I love the Andrew Stuber pick. I mean, that's the one thing I have to go. There's a couple teams that we were considering. Shout out to Brett in the Dope podcast that's in the chat blowing it up, being ignorant. But there's a couple of ways we were going about some of these teams. We were talking about the big thing is the Colts. I'm not a big believer of the Colts draft. I'm sure Brett will probably write you an autobiography as a response on the side. So check out the. I know. I'm waiting for it. There's a couple teams here.
Bibliography.
Yeah, I mean the Dolphins, another team that we talked about. You know, their
draft was Tyreek Hill. That's the point that most Dolphins fans will tell you. Their draft was Tyreek Hill. They don't give a damn.
Oh yeah.
The Browns was like Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, essentially, like we got Deshaun, so
like
whatever.
The Colts. The Colts to me, it's like you have they have to start Bernard Raymond more than likely at the left tackle position. So I mean, you have him. and then you have Ryan Kelly, and you have Quentin Nelson. I don't know who's playing your other two line spots, and I don't know anybody behind them, and I don't know a running back behind Jonathan Taylor.
Is it
Um,
Naheem Hines or did he leave?
he might still be there. I
As
know
far
Marlon.
as I know, it's
He
Naheem
might
Hines.
be there still. He might be the Colts. I just said there's a couple positions that I think that you guys should have addressed and they didn't. I feel like now you have three Mo Alley Coxes on your team. Like just
I mean,
three
if you
big
look at
athletic
the thing
guys
is,
that
if you look at the quarterback that they have, like that's fine.
yeah, they're living like year to year on quarterbacks right now. Like until they find a franchise guy. Like it was Rivers for a
I think they're
year.
just waiting to. The thing is, they're so good that they can't suck enough to reset the clock.
Yeah. I mean it's
Like
just
not without trading like Darius Leonard or Toronto or
yeah, they're not gonna blow it up.
they're not gonna get rid of that defense. So like
No,
they're trying
they're
to
not
live
gonna
and die
blow it
by their
up.
defense and probably find a game manager.
Yeah, like I said, they're not gonna blow it up, but they still got like they're gonna sit up here and like you said they're gonna be too good that they're not gonna get like that franchise guy for a while. They're gonna be
Which to
sitting
me
here.
is it's like you should have if you're gonna do this, and I get it, Matt Ryan's probably a little bit better than the guy I'm about to say, but the guy Jimmy G's younger. Like Jimmy G has gotten to a championship. Like he got his team to the playoffs last year with little to nothing. Like I think Jimmy G would have probably been a far better investment simply because he's younger. And yes, he's coming off a surgery, but I believe the surgery is to his non-throwing shoulder anyway. So he's been fine by training camp. Like Jimmy G made so much more sense to me. So for them to go and get Matt Ryan and then break him off and give him a new contract is
It's gonna be
weird as
it's like I
hell.
said. They're really just living like year to year on quarterbacks because they did a year of Rivers, they did a year of Carson. Now they're going to have to bide their time with Matt Ryan, and you guys know how I feel about
Hope
Matt
he
Ryan.
doesn't get hurt, really, because you're living on Jacoby Brissett, and
He
maybe
went
his
back.
pipe.
Oh, he was on the Colts.
Hmm?
He was on the Colts. He's trying somewhere. I thought he was a free agent. Did he resign the Colts?
I think he might be a backup for the Dolphins right now, actually.
I was about to say because I thought he was a free agent. I know they wanted the Giants to sign him for a while. So I don't know who their
I have
backup
no. I
is.
think who the fuck is their backup?
Who's?
The
The
Colts.
Colts. Who the hell is their backup quarterback?
I don't know. I
I
don't
think
know.
it's not Jacob Eason. It's the other guy from like that.
No, because I want to say Eason's on like the Seahawks now. One of
I
that.
think Eason is on the Seahawks, but I
Yeah.
know they went and drafted somebody that like was a good college quarterback. Not great though.
Brett,
I mean,
who's looking at the chat, at the Facebook chat? Who's
I know. I know.
Because Brett is yelling at somebody.
He's yelling at me probably. And he's yelling at me and Jay. But anyway, moving on to the other half of things. Paul, what is a team that impressed you? A team that you thought did great in the draft? You're giving your kudos to. Paul.
I'll going back to the Indianapolis. Sam Erlinger is the backup.
Ah, Sam Ellinger. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Jesus
And
Christ.
Naheem Hines is still there.
He's still there.
Okay.
All right. All right, Paul. You're up.
So
What team impressed you in the draft?
He
it
said
literally
Matt
is,
Ryan
it literally,
was an
it literally
MVP.
is our me and Jay's Jets because of the fact I like the first two picks that we first.
You're picking your Jets. You can't do that. We're doing a whole
We were
segment.
gonna
about
have that discussion anyway.
All right. Fine.
Come on.
Fine.
Come on.
I'll pick another team then.
Yeah, it's not fine. Don't do my thing. It's not fine.
I'll have to go with the Eagles.
Okay.
You're gonna hate it, but it's the Eagles.
I mean, I don't like you right now, but it's fine.
I know. But if we look at what the Eagles did, they literally got AJ Brown. They paired him up with Devontae Smith. Right? Then these motherfuckers go out and they pick up. Hold on, look at these guys here. They get Jordan Davis they get a center in Cam Jurgens, see how he works out. Then they get Nakobe
Well,
Dean, who dropped down.
He don't even have to start. He don't have to start right
the
now.
thing is,
No,
too,
I know.
with the
I'm saying
Jurgens
to see how he works out because he has no pressure in starting. So literally, he can sit back and make that switch, that transition.
The only reason why I say that there's pressure is because Kelsey picked him. They went to Kelsey and said, "Yo, we trust your scout and we trust your eye. Like, go find your replacement." He saw Jurgens work out. And he was like, "That's the guy."
And that's fine. And the thing is, Kelsey's going to
That's
work
a
with
lot of pressure.
Kelsey's going to work with him. He'll be all right. But he is not literally like, hey, you're starting week 1. No.
Oh,
It's
hell
like,
no.
all right.
He's not probably not. All things go well. He's not playing this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no pressure. The pressure's coming now. The pressure comes in like when Kelsey retires, which will probably be in a couple of years or so. You know what I'm saying? So they literally upgraded their offense and their defense. Like, bro, it's ridiculous. Like,
Hey, you know what's crazy?
Trouble.
There's the concept that Howie doesn't pay attention to the linebacker position. He got one of the best in the draft, and it's funny because it's like they can play this year without Nakobe Dean and just be like, yo, heal up, rest up, and then they'll be ready to go next year.
Yeah.
Like, they'll be ready to kill next year.
And here's the other thing, too. The only problem we have now is the quarterback position. Because, again, if y'all saw heard that conversation we had a month or two ago, again, Tennessee Titans, and Tannehill's not it. Jalen Hurts is not it. So y'all need to find a quarterback if y'all want to dominate that division, Eagles. Y'all need to find that quarterback.
They just need to find a quarterback better than Dak Prescott. They don't even need to find that guy. They just need to find a guy. If Jalen Hurts can become a guy, like, they're fine.
Well, I know this is going to be our most talked in chat room so far for a podcast. Brett is just blowing this thing up. It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Yeah, the pressure's on Jalen Hurts this year. It's all on Jalen Hurts. I wouldn't want to be in his shoes right now because it's like do or die for him in Philly right now. You know?
We ain't stressing Jalen Hurts. He's probably got a year left. Honestly, if I'm being honest, I think after this year, maybe 1 or 2 more years, that guy's done. At least over there, he's done. He's not the guy. Benji, are you gonna just still pull your loophole crap and just hold off on the Jets Giants?
No. The only thing I had was for the disappointing one. As far as the team that impressed me, as much as Brett is going to hate this, is the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens,
Jesus,
my
Christ.
God,
my God,
what a draft that these guys had. They legitimately made one pick that made me scratch my head, and that was this punter that they picked up in the 4th round, Jordan Stout. And that's no shot at you, Joe, because that's a Penn State guy. But how are you picking him when Erasier's still on the board?
Well, he's from Penn State.
I don't. Shut up. Like, I don't understand it, but it is what it is. But when you get your top 3 picks are legitimately guys that in this entire draft conversation have been all up and down the top 10 of the draft. Kyle Hamilton at one point was thought of as being the single best player in this entire draft until that 40 time came out.
both of them.
Tyler Linderbaum, best center in the draft, and we were sitting up here talking about this dude going at 5 to us for the longest. And then you get David Ojabo. This is unfair. This is just flat out unfair. And it's like I hate sitting up here acting like this, but I don't have my hat on, but I take my hat and my hood off to the Baltimore Ravens. All right, that was a hell of a draft for them, man.
Yeah,
and I think that's their make good for Lamar Jackson for trading away Marquise Brown.
And they got him two really good tight ends. Like, Jesus.
And they didn't even go into that. Then go into to Batty, who's sitting up here. That's how you pronounce his name. I don't know. The running back that they picked up from Missouri. This dude led the SEC in rushing last year.
Oh, Batty?
Yeah. You got Isaiah Likely and Charlie Kolar, along with Mark Andrews. Jesus,
Like,
what? Come on.
Yeah, it just wasn't. It wasn't fair. It just wasn't fair.
This is not fair, yo.
No, it really wasn't. Like, they just sat back and just racked up everyone.
And the funny thing about it is they kept getting jumped for people. Teams kept trading ahead, and they still killed the draft.
Yeah, I know. Like, you're right. It's like nothing else to talk about. Like, he's right. Like, it was. They really just sat back, and they definitely were like one of, if not the best team that came out that made out this weekend. Like, they're definitely one of the top. They killed the draft. Like you said, you replace Hollywood Brown. You get Lamar 2 more weapons, both tight ends, but Likely you can. I feel like both tight ends you can kind of like split out, especially Likely. He'll cause matchup problems with linebackers and smaller slot nickel corners. Mm-hmm. So you hope Bateman takes a step forward next year and becomes a better receiver. There's still probably going to be some veteran free agents that they'll sign because people are going to get cut soon because of the draft picks. So, I mean, the Ravens definitely.
You also have to realize the system that they play in, like, the all-world receiver isn't necessary.
Yeah, no, you don't need it. No, you don't need it. But I mean, like, it's nice to have that guy, but you don't necessarily need it. So, like, it's just they crushed it. They really did crush it. Jay, what's your team? What you're looking at?
My team was the former arch nemesis, the Seattle Seahawks. Now that we put a period on that trade, I don't have to hate them anymore. But I mean, going into this draft, like, there was all the hype about, like, first you get the Russell Wilson trade, so you get a top 10 pick, and you use it, and it just kind of tells me where they're gonna go next. Where they've always been a team that kind of were predicated on the run and their defense and all that. They get the best pass protecting left tackle in Charles Cross. So I'm like, okay, so they're probably gonna look to really use DK Metcalf as like the centerpiece of that offense. So they went and got the best guy to protect whoever's back there and whoever's going to be back there going forward, which is, I really think, the biggest thing is that, like, they got him, they got Abe Lucas, who played under the same coach, so he pretty much ran the same system. So now you have 2 bookend, pass protecting tackles. So now at least the blind side and the strong side of your quarterback is protected, hopefully going forward. They went and got Boye Mafe, which to me, he has all the tools, but he doesn't have, the IQ. But he has everything that, like, you would want Pete Carroll to get, like a ball of clay. He's an older rusher, I get it, but at least at the very least, he can give them some sort of pass rush. Then they went and got Kenneth Walker, which is pretty much Chris Carson with wiggle. So I'm like, okay, now you got a dude at running back, so you guys are definitely going to run the rock, at least up the middle. You go and get Kobe Bryant and Tariq Woolen, who are 2 solid corners. Help replenish that secondary after losing DJ Reed. And then you get 2 pretty much experimental freaks in Tariq Smith, who his measurables are pretty much, like, comparable to what you get from, who's the guy who went first?
Trevon?
Yeah, Trevon Walker. Like, his measurables, like height, size, weight, are pretty much the same. Like, he's a freak athletically. And then Bo Melton is like that gadget guy. So, like, say you have to rock out with Drew Lock or Geno Smith, like, you don't want them throwing it all over the yard. So you go out and get a guy that can play on jet sweeps, that can play on crosses, that can, take the balls and run it back, and did all that at Rutgers. I don't know too much about Darion Young, but again, you went and got another guy that's probably a special teams guy, probably a gadget guy. So it's like, it seems like the Seahawks are building around the future while kind of, looking at the fact that, like, okay, we know who's going to be our centerpiece. You have your centerpiece on offense in DK. You got your centerpiece on defense, which pretty much is the two safeties. So it's like, all right, we're going to build around that. So I'm like, that's pretty, considering that they went in with no first-round picks and then made the trade for Russell Wilson, and it's like, all right, we got to rock out without a quarterback. That's a pretty good haul, and they finally invested in the offensive line. That was the biggest thing for me, is that they finally got a top-flight tackle. They got two top-flight tackles.
That was the funniest shit, though. That was the funniest shit.
It's like, y'all niggas wait till Russ leave to go and get a left tackle.
Yeah.
The disrespect was so real there, yo. Like
the best y'all can get him is Dwayne Brown, and then as soon as
Like,
he leaves, you go out and get
his
him.
whole tenure. I know he was sitting at home like, y'all can't be serious.
Like y'all not
y'all
for
waited-
real.
Y'all waited till I left and drafted a franchise left tackle, like, and went back, got a running back, got another tackle. Like, y'all addressed the O line after you trade your franchise quarterback. That's got you a Super Bowl. What kind of ass backwards organization is that? Like,
This is Pete Carroll for you. I mean, what can you say? Motherfuckers
Jesus
getting old.
Lord.
They know how to get fleeced though. I'll give them that. They definitely know how
He's
to
getting old. That man is like 75. Pete Carroll is old as time itself. Pete Carroll, that man is old. That's for real. You done with the Seahawks?
Yeah, no, I'm done. But
Yeah.
top flight, bro. Top flight.
It's funny you said, because a lot of people had the really differing opinions on that draft, Seahawks. I saw a lot of people that loved it, a lot of people, and it was probably like a love and hate, because like I saw a lot of people that were just kind of like, nah, like they didn't really care for the Seahawks draft too much, just for the fact of like they felt as though the running back pick was a little, like the Kenneth Walker pick, they didn't really care for it too much, more so because they had other running backs already there. So the Charles Cross pick was good. And I think it was something. I believe it was something one of the corners. I believe I don't remember what it was. It was something like something that was brought about one of the corners. I can't remember off the top of my head. I should have took a screenshot or something like that. But I just been reading a lot of differing opinions about that draft. But I mean, it makes sense if you have to re-up the defense and replace people. Why not? Like
I said, they lost DJ Reed, so I mean, maybe it was Tariq Woolen, because it was like you probably could have got a more productive corner, but he is athletic. He's a guy that you're going to mold down the road.
6'4". He's 6'4".
Yeah, so it's like that to me is going to be like I guess Pete Carroll's going to try to recreate the whole Richard Sherman thing, but then again, too, and then you get Kobe Bryant, who can step in for DJ Reed at least next season. Not going to give you the same production, but like, he's a guy that was really good across from Sauce Gardner. Like that secondary was decent. Like they wasn't no slouches. So I mean, like I think to me anyway, this is a pretty good pick. It's pretty solid.
So for me, for my draft winner, I know I was gonna go Lions, but we definitely talked about the Lions. So I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs had a really good draft. Like they crushed it. Like the Chiefs crushed it.
Not fair.
The rich really do get richer.
The only thing I can say is I'm curious with the Sky Moore pick over a guy like Christian Watson, because I figure like if you can get a guy like Christian Watson who is a burner but actually has size, which is something that you don't have on that roster, I think you go get him. But I think just with the way that they play, they've learned how to survive with smaller receivers.
Yeah, they don't have too many like bigger receivers like that.
What do you mean too many? I think their tallest receiver is like 5'11".
It's gonna probably be Juju this year. That's like 6'1", Juju.
Yeah, something like that.
Like, I mean, and like I said, I'm not gonna say that Sky Moore comes in and replaces Tariq Hill's production, because probably not. At least not as a rookie. But you get yourself a really solid receiver, Sky Moore. You're gonna have Juju over there. You're gonna have Kelsey. Hardman's still there. Like they went and they did their thing. Like they really did, and they replaced a lot of people. So I mean, when you go get Trent Duffy, you picked up Joshua Williams, a corner from Fayetteville State, and you have Isaiah Johnson, another corner from Marshall. They also traded for Lonnie Johnson. They traded for Lonnie Johnson from the Texans. They traded like a conditional 2024 7th-round pick for this guy.
Ridiculous, though.
So Yeah, exactly. My face. So like You win and add all that to a secondary that's lost Travarius Ward, lost Mike Hughes, lost Sorensen, lost Honey Badger. I'm not saying you're going to replace like the production of a Honey Badger with like one of some of the other people, but like the talent is going to come together, but the coach is also going to make it come together to be just as cohesive. So, I mean, Kyler Gordon's going to start off the rip. It's ridiculous. Brett's killing me. This guy's too much. Kyler Gordon's going to start. To go back in the second round, to go back at the end of the first, get George Karlaftis, like another great pick. Like, I mean, it's kind of like a BPA, but it's kind of also needed at the same time. Like, you're gonna sit here and you're gonna get somebody who's gonna set the edge well, somebody who's gonna have pass rush from somebody who's gonna, come in and be a no nonsense guy.
Yeah.
Like, that dude is so straight laced in business, it's crazy. Like,
and he's so raw at the same time. That was just a crazy thing because he just started playing football.
Yo, we were sitting up here on the draft night, and me and Benji were like looking at the dude's suit, and it was just straight white, black tie. He just stood there. Karlaftis. He just stood there like my man's all business. He was just like, I'm not coming out here no fancy ties, no crazy pink suits. He had buzz cut, black suit, black tie, white shirt. That's it. Shook the commissioner's hand. Done. Hand my jersey. I'm out. Like,
he was ready to go.
He was like, I need my playbook along with like my jersey. Like that's what he was like ready. That dude is like to go back in the second round or into the first round and get him, turn around, get Sky Moore, another weapon for Mahomes. Brian Cook, safety out of Cincinnati, he's gonna replace Sorensen and be probably better already, if I'm being honest. Then they go back. And the pick I'll say the second pick I love the most, Lil Chenal.
So mad.
Everybody was in love with this man leading up to the draft. The last like 2 weeks, or whatever, everybody was on the Lil Chenal bandwagon. Everybody wants this guy. The guy with the ability to cover, play sideline to sideline, get after the quarterback and blitz. Like the kids, like I was like watching him the whole time in Wisconsin. So to sit up here and turn around and like when we first saw draft rankings, that guy was like a 4th, 5th round pick. I was like, there's no way. There's no way he's gonna stay there. And of course, with like a week and a half to 2 weeks ago in the draft, the guy jumps to he was projected to like second round and everything. He went around like the 3rd, 4th, but like
late 3rd.
Late 3rd. I'm like, man, like that was just like the guy was just sitting on the board for people to get. And I think he's gonna be a stud there, honestly. I'll be a little bit of a homer here, but my favorite pick for the Chiefs is Isaiah Pacheco, the running back from Rutgers. Yeah, I'm gonna be a little bit of a homer, but
I thought you were gonna go with Darian Kennard there. But...
No, I mean I love Kennard too. He was a draft crush for sure. I wanted Kennard for a while because the versatility. He's a guard, tackle. He played tackle at Kentucky, but the guy can slide inside. Like
apparently
that was cool. Huh?
Apparently, that's why he fell.
Because he slid inside to play guard.
Because they're just like, we don't know where we're gonna put him. We don't know what we're gonna do with him. And I'm like,
he more translates
but for him to drop to the 5th round, though, like,
yeah, I know that was like a.
After and the people that we saw at guard, like Jesus fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, look at we're gonna get to it, but look at the Giants. Like, I didn't know either of the people we drafted. Like,
I still don't know either of the people you drafted.
Out of all the homework we did, and I'm sat here and I didn't know either person we drafted. We took both guards from North Carolina. I was like, didn't hear about either.
So the guys that played next to Ike Ekwonu.
No, North Carolina, North Carolina State.
Got you.
So like, I loved Isaiah Pacheco. The kid watching Rutgers games, like that kid does everything for Rutgers. He did everything. Catching the ball in the backfield, run between the tackles, bouncing outside. He could even do some return ability. He could split out a receiver. And he went to the perfect place. Like, he went to the perfect place. Like, Andy Reid's going to sit here and have that kid in the backfield one play, put him out, put him in the slot the next play, put him outside receiver. He's going to do anything he wants with Isaiah Pacheco. Like, he's going to that guy is like that. I love that pick, and I was watching some videos on him and everything. I watched him play. He did like a little draft interview on him. Um, yeah, it was just like I loved that pick, and I was so happy that guy got drafted. But yeah, I think he's gonna do great things for that. That was definitely like my favorite pick from the Chiefs. But getting into our teams, we talk a little about the Jets and the Giants, how we feel we did, because I know both teams like I know all four of us were sitting here going into the draft nervous wrecks. Like we're all sitting here like cannot screw this up. We cannot screw this up. Like we have to do something to move ourselves forward and progress this franchise. Nobody's saying we're going to make this Jets Giants Super Bowl run. But you got to see especially with multiple first round picks, you have to see your team hit. So, Jets, you have the clock. Jets, you have the floor. Sorry about that. You guys give us your reactions on the draft. What you guys think? Paul J, whoever wants to go first, you started off.
Paul.
Why did the order switch up?
Because we have the floor, so we got this.
Don't change my stuff. What's wrong with you? It's my stuff.
We have the floor.
Team.
The Jets have the floor. So
This guy.
I like the way they drafted Sauce at 4. And I know it was a hard decision because they literally took the whole entire time to figure out what they wanted. It was either between Sauce and KT. There's no way if they knew they wanted Sauce, they were going to take that much time to draft him. So I'm sure that was like a tough decision between them for them to make. You get the edge, or do you get the shutdown corner? You know what I mean? And then we went and we got what's his name?
Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson. Garrett, like, he's one of the top receivers. I was like, I wanted Drake London, but fucking Falcons took him up first, man. After Jay showed me that tape on Drake, I was like, I want Drake. I want Drake. I want all Drake. Drake London needs to come to New York. You know, unfortunately, they work out because Atlanta picked them up just before us. It is what it is. I'll take that. And then I know Jay was upset with that, with those two picks. And I was like, yo, just wait. Like, I forgot at what point I was like, wait. Don't be surprised if JD makes that move. He pulls something off. We get back in that route. Because JJ kept falling. We were watching this draft, and we're like, why is JJ still on this board? It makes no sense. When he got past a certain point, like, I was like, yo, watch. Something's going to brew. I think JD's going to make a move to get back in there and get JJ. And then after the draft, that's what I heard, like, when they called JJ. Like, we've been trying to get back in there to draft you because you kept falling, and we kept getting back in there. And I don't know why teams weren't giving it up. Maybe they just weren't giving what they wanted, but we ended up finally getting JJ. We got Breece Hall later on. We got Ruckert as well, too, who's actually a Jets fan, grew up as a Jets fan, so it works even better. I mean, we had a very, very good draft, if not one of the best drafts in this entire draft, and one of the best drafts in recent history for the Jets as well. So I'm very happy with what JD did.
I could agree with that.
We literally now, after the whole Jamal Adams draft picks, we ended up pretty much getting, what's it called, Garrett Wilson and Elijah Vera Tucker in exchange for Jamal Adams. Not bad at all. So I'm very happy with what we got. Now it's in the hands of Zach Wilson to do what he's got to do to improve and to show that he's the quarterback that JD wanted the whole time. You know? So I'm happy. You, Jay?
I just have to give a personal apology to Trader Joe.
Everybody.
No, fuck everybody. I'm just talking about Joe Douglas. Because and I actually went back and I listened to a lot of like the guys that I know are plugged in. Apparently the choice was between Sauce and Ike Ekwonu. Kayvon Thibodeau was not an option there.
Oh no?
That's he wasn't an option there. I thought that was bullshit, but it wasn't bullshit. But I think that Sauce's impression on them like stuck so well. And he gives Robert, and I was the main guy the whole draft process. Like, you know what? They don't value corner. They don't value corner. They don't value corner. But what I didn't take into account was that having a guy like Sauce gives Robert Saleh the opportunity to kind of merge his last two stops, where you can get a little bit of like the front end of the 49ers with the back end of the Seattle Seahawks. Because now he has his Richard Sherman. Now he has a guy where like, it's not like we have to run zone on the first, because everybody knows the Jets run zone first two plays and then they play man on third downs. Now it's like it's not a situation anymore where you're going to look at Jets games and the Jets are 3-14 and it's like, oh no, they're going to make a play and they're going to get a first down and the defense is going to have to set up all over again because somebody gets burned on a route. Like, now you got a guy who's a very sticky corner. You went and got DJ Reed, who's another really sticky corner. You have now it's gonna elevate the play of Michael Carter, who's always been great. You have Jordan Whitehead, who is straight up probably one of the craziest mofos I've ever listened to speak about football. Like, this dude he has like that warrior mentality, which is going to help with the run games, gonna help on those passing downs, like those short bubble screens and everything. And then you're going to get LaMarcus Joyner back. And apparently the Jets really, really like the tandem of Jordan Whitehead and LaMarcus Joyner, along with, you know, a bunch of the other guys we got. So, like, the Sauce pick now, like, in retrospect, the Sauce pick makes so much sense. But at the point of it happening, I was having a damn connection. Oh, yeah. And I will be the first person to admit that.
Hey, Brett is blowing you up in the chat right now.
Yeah, I know he's blowing me up.
Yeah, he said you better give him his props and acknowledge him. And he said, I want you all to know that JR
he called the suspect, but again, there was really no way to know how the board was going to fall in terms of if you take a corner that early, where are you going to get your edge? That was always my thing. My biggest thing was I wanted edge and wide receiver because we needed to take care of the edge. Now, when we got to the wide receiver part, mind you, I was a big Drake London fan. So it crushed me when Drake London went to the Falcons. But I get it. I understand it. They got the Twin Tower thing over there going. Like, I get it. Garrett Wilson, I had to warm up to because I had to just sit back and kind of just watch tape on him. And, like, really just see, like, okay, what is it that they're so hyped about? The guy's catch radius is ridiculous because he can literally like hurdle 6'7" humans for no like it is not okay how high this man can jump at 5'11".
He's like the John Morant receivers.
Yeah, like it when he jumps, it really looks like John Morant's about to dunk on somebody. Like it's not okay. And then you have a situation where like this guy does nothing but get separation. It's ridiculous. Like he's running past people on just about every route. Like I've not seen anything like that. So like I kind of get the comp when people are like, oh, his pro comp was Stephon Diggs, and I'm like, yeah, okay. But then I kind of watched it and I'm like, I can kind of see it. Like I get it. And then to come back and to see JJ drop, and for them to pick up the phone at 15 and been calling every single team at 15. To know that every other team was going after a wide receiver or an offensive tackle or offensive lineman, which is why JJ dropped. And apparently it was because of character concerns that they were having. Like, he didn't interview well with some teams, which I feel like is kind of on purpose, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Jay, your boy.
Yo, this man is booing you in the chat right now.
I don't care.
Yo,
take several, bro. If you're not gonna get on the video, take several.
wait, is this Brett? Is this Brett the same one that said that the Pittsburgh his Pittsburgh Steelers were not drafted a quarterback in the first round with the first pick?
Thank you.
That same Brett.
That's same Brett. That's why.
I'm like, no, it's not happening. We're getting. Oh,
anyway,
if that happens,
Tennessee, because Tennessee really helped us out and blessed us with that one. To get Jermaine Johnson where we did, and to hear like that he had a conversation with Joe Douglas, and Joe Douglas was like, yo, you remember what you told me? He said, make sure you come and get me. And they went and got him, and it's like, yo, that's how you know they got 3 guys in their top 8. Like, that is unheard of.
Oh,
They got 3 guys in their top 8 in the first round, and then to turn around and get a 4th guy in their top 10 in Breece Hall, a pick that I fully did not see coming. I did not see running back coming into like 4th round. Like, I don't think anybody in Jets fandom was like once we traded up, I'm like, who are we trading up for? Like, is it a safety?
Come on, you knew who it was for.
No, we didn't. No, there was literally nothing about a running back to the Jets. There was nothing.
You didn't see that pick
except for Mel Kiper.
No, it was nothing.
Wow, I saw that pick. And as soon as you traded up, I saw that pick coming a mile away.
I'm like, what? But again, it was one of those, like, it wasn't a need, but it was one of those, like, no, we're going to make sure Zach Wilson has everything. But the word was that when they traded that 69th pick, like, they had all but given up hope that they were going to get Jeremy Ruckert, because they're like, oh no, he's going to be gone by the time we pick again. And to get Jeremy Ruckert at 101, who arguably, in terms of tools, has probably the best set of tools to be a tight end 1 of any guy in the draft, it's just production. Where it's like, all right, he's on Ohio State, so of course he's not, but he's a mauler when he blocks. He has great hands. He's low-key quick. His routes are crisp. So it's like he fits in this system perfectly. And in like a year or two, he's probably going to be tight end 1 when we can get out of Uzomah or Conklin's contract. So it's like, to get 4 starters in your first 4 picks, like, that is huge. And to come back and get a swing tackle in Max Mitchell, who I've heard was taking snaps at his pro day at center, playing in at guard. So, like, he's working to literally play at all 5 positions on the line, which hopefully means we don't ever have to see Connor McDermott play in the Jets uniform again if he's not in, like, a special package as a tight end. I will be very happy if Max Mitchell becomes our either starting center or our swing tackle. Like, I think
that was a steal pick too, yo.
That really was, because again, and he's another guy that has tight end experience. Came in as a tight end, so he has hands. So it's like, all right, so that's another guy you can throw out there on one of those special packages where the lineman leaks out, and now you got another target. So now Mike LaFleur can get even more creative. And then Michael Clemens, like, I get why a lot of pundits are down on him, but just watching a little bit of tape that I saw, like, this man is the epitome of violence. So, like, I understand, like, people are concerned about the gun charge and marijuana charge, but, like, weed's legal. Get over it. And, like, he's from Texas. Why are we mad that people in Texas are carrying guns? Like, okay, he got arrested for it. He was a kid. Like, they met with him. They like, if JD says he's cool, I'm cool. Watching his tape, like, even if he doesn't crack the rotation immediately, he's going to crack the rotation. This man plays with way too much I'm fitting to kill you to not make it in that rotation. Like, the pass rush moves are there. Does he have all the bend in the world? No. Is he like going to be like a 10-sack guy? No, but he can be a rotation guy that'll get you 6 sacks a season. And I mean, if he makes the team and we can cut Nathan Shepard, I'd be very happy. I don't care if we just re-signed him. We can cut Nathan Shepard. I'm over the fucking moon. Like, yeah. get his ass off the team, please. Those fucking penalties kill me. So, like, we got another pass rusher. So now it's like the pass rush went from being like, damn, we need pass rush to like, fuck, we got pass rush. Like, you can just fucking attack teams in waves now. And it's like, thank you, God. Like, and then you get a healthy Carl Lawson back, who is at OTAs and looks incredible. So it's like, all signs point to getting a healthy Carl Lawson back. You get JFM, who can move inside and outside. You know, you got Solomon Thomas, who looks like he has a point to prove, and you know, like, he looks like the kid that came back from not being in school for a little while. He's just coming in to beat up people for no reason. Trying
to prove that he's not a
bust.
Not a bust.
Next
yeah.
to Quentin, who looks shredded as fuck. So I'm like, yo, this offensive line, like, am I still concerned about the run stopping? Sure, but I think the improved safety play will help with that. And just having a situation where your linebackers kind of get a little bit better will definitely help with that. And I think just overall the defense might fuck around and win us some games this year. Like now we got a situation where like we're gonna get tangible sacks, like we're gonna get forced fumbles, we're gonna get probably interceptions now. Like we're gonna get deflections, like we're gonna get turnovers this year, which is only gonna help Zach even more. So I'm like, all right, like this is like now we're on to something. Now we can cook.
You alive over there? Kayvon Neal?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, hold on 1 second.
All right. Well, while he's getting his life in order, I don't know what happened to him. I'll talk on the Giants real quick. I'll get my 2 cents out. Oh, he moved us back where I should be. Yep.
You really just
Yep.
do that.
Yes, I did. Anyway, all right. Yo, so all right, I'll get in real quick before Kayvon takes the mic. So
You got me now.
I think on the Giants draft, huh?
You got me now.
Yeah, we got you.
All right, nah, because whatever, when I switched phones or whatever, the all the audio settings was messed up.
Oh, gotcha. Well, I'm gonna go real quick, and the floor is all yours.
Yeah,
But yeah, my just take on the Giants draft real quick is I mean, to come in night one and walk off with, possibly the best edge in the draft and the best tackle in the draft. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Like, people are gonna say Aiden's here, Trevon's here, Thibodeau's here. Tua might be number 2, number 3, number 1, blah blah, whatever. It depends on really what you're running. It's just to walk in with those two, or walk out, I should say, the first night with those two is just like, to me, already gave us like an amazing draft. That's 2 definitive playmakers. That's 2 just like cornerstones. And I mean, with all the other work that Shane did to the offensive line, like, it's just like he revamped the entire offensive line in one off season. Literally 4 new starting linemen and 5 backups. I mean, you have Thomas at your left. You're gonna have some type of combination of Josh that we drafted, the guard from North Carolina, type of combination of him and maybe Max Garcia to start. One of those 2. You got Feliciano's going to start your center, at least for the year, until you got to go find another one. You're going to have Glowinski starting your right guard. You're going to have Evan Neal starting your right tackle. Like, he came in and he re-upped the whole line. Then you went off and you signed Matt Gano. You drafted another tackle from North Carolina. Like, he went in and he just like revamped the entire offensive line, and kudos to him for that alone. Like we said before, I didn't do enough homework, honestly, because I thought I had a pretty good grasp on the prospects this year. Both linemen from UNC, the guard and the guard tackle, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know either of them. I didn't know either of them. Like, they were not on my board, not people that I had seen film of or heard of. And I think those are the 2 main things that really kind of stood to me about the draft. Like, there were so many other prospects. We talked about it again. You had a Kennard sitting there. You had a Marquise Hayes. You had, a lot of other lineman prospects. And I know Benji's probably going to hit on it too. But that offensive line, and what we were talking about before, is that the offensive line from UNC, those 2 are mainstays on the offensive line that produced, pretty good college running backs. And, So I mean, I think that's one of the reasons we looked into people that are going to sit here and that are going to go downhill as far as run blocking, people that are going to hold up in pass protection. Not the biggest name people possibly people that are going to be playing in the NFL for the next 10 years. I don't know. Like I said, I did not know about them. I'm not going to sit up here and lie like I did. The Wandale Robinson pick was an interesting one. I know I wanted to go to Quan Brisker in the second round just because I wanted to have him come down and be more of the box safety to kind of I guess take over the role Peppers left. Um, like I said, my board varied very differently than his. I think the Bellinger pick was probably my favorite pick because even though we signed the Jordan Akins and we signed the Ricky Seals Jones, we still needed somebody that's going to come in. Both those guys are older. They're both on 1 year deals. I don't think either one's. Seals Jones might be 30. I think they're both around 28, 29. But you still need somebody young. Belder's going to come in. He's going to be a great red zone target. We also have Austin Allen, the tight end we signed out of Nebraska, who's undrafted. That kid's 6'8". So, I mean, we got some people that we brought in. So it's just only a matter of time of working on those guys and getting them, progressed. And then the two linebackers at the end, I also loved. Like I said, I think the Wandale pick was a little. It was too early, and it's a Kadarius Toney esque move, but like it's going to be interesting to see if we can get Toney and Wandale on the field at the same time with a Galladay, with maybe a Bellinger, with a Saquon on the field, and see what kind of mismatch problems we can figure out. That would have been cool to see. I want to see. I want to see what that. I want to see what that is going for. I want to see how they make that work. It's going to be interesting. Like I said, I don't know what they're going to do as far as the cap space situation, trying to sign all these guys. I think that's the biggest thing right now. More than likely, I know me and Benji have been spitballing on moving, and a lot of people have been saying actually moving Bradbury to safety, but I don't think they're going to do that. At this point, they're probably going to extend him. They'll probably extend him, make his contract over more time. He's their best corner option. You'll have him. You'll have Aaron Robinson. You'll have Darnay. The other one, Cordell Flott. Again, another person. Did not know. I had no clue. I had no clue about this man. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, those two UNC people and Flott, I really didn't have a clue as to who they really were. I'm not gonna lie. But the two biggest picks, I think one of my other favorite ones was probably Darian Beavers. I think he's going to be a big steal for us. One, I love McFadden too, because McFadden can play sideline to sideline, and he's exactly like Wink Martindale went and said, "I want this guy." Like Wink went to him and was like, "I want McFadden." Like they literally said that after the draft. Like the guy flies sideline to sideline. He fits Wink's defense. He's bringing in perfectly. The guy is known for getting after the quarterback. So, I mean, they got something good at McFadden. And to go back and get Beavers in like the 6th round, the last pick of the draft, that was a huge steal. I think that was one of the steals of the draft. I think that was probably their best gem of a pick. Because I had that guy in the 3rd to 4th round, maybe. So to go in the 6th round and get Beavers at pick 182, I think that was a huge steal for us. And we needed it. We needed it because you have Tate Crowder, who, for all intents and purposes, was Mr. Irrelevant, last pick of the draft his year. But, I mean, to be Mr. Irrelevant and come out and play the way he has played, I can't say kudos to him, but he gets washed down in, like, the run. He can't hold up against the run. He's a little undersized. And next to him, you have a Blake Martinez, who at one point was going to be released. And then he comes back off of ACL injury. So, I mean, ACLs aren't as serious as they used to be. Not as career-ending as they used to be. But at the same time, he's a little older, and you need somebody else under him. You had, Cam Brown, you had Carter Coughlin. Carter Coughlin got moved around. Cam's more of a special teams kind of guy. But you need people that are going to actually – McFadden and Beavers I see, like, being possibly starters or at least coming in and very rotational people. So I think night A is like they knocked out the park. You can't ask for anything better like round 1 or night 1. You can't ask for anything better. Round 2, as far as Wandale and the guard for UNC, like I don't know what they were looking at, but maybe they know something that we don't know. I can't say I was crazy about that pick. and they went back with the guy McGrath in the third day. Again, another UNC guy. I don't know. I don't know anything about the guy too much, but to go back and add a Bellinger, McFadden, and the Beavers, I think that's really what like turned the whole thing around. It was just like, all right, like I can get behind this for a first year GM to come in and do free agency the way he did, set us up and put us in a good position for the draft, come into the draft and knock it out like he did. I think we're progressing in the right direction. I think now next year is going to have to be, depending on how we do, it's going to have to be like everybody's going to say it's going to be a quarterback. It has to be a quarterback next year, especially if you're going to deny or decline Daniel Jones' option, his 50-year option. Got to go to quarterback. You got to go for something.
That's already a done deal.
Yeah, like exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like you already declined this 50-year option. He'll be a free agent after this year. So, I mean, you have Tyrod for 2 years. You have Davis Webb for a year. But next year, and probably a loaded quarterback class where you have 5, 6, 7 possible quarterbacks coming out, you got to go get one of them. So I'll kick it over to you, Kayvon.
All right. First and foremost, Brett, I look like a Sith Lord because I need a haircut, and I don't feel like having my busted ass hairline on TV right now. So, as far as the Giants go, like I said, I teased it a little earlier when I was talking about the things I was a little disappointed by. Again, it wasn't total. Just like I don't like this mess. What's happening? It's just when I'm looking at it, I'm looking at, all right, we could have done so much more. Whereas we were in positions where, the Leo pick. How many times did we pass up on him? How many times did we pass up on, Nakobe Dean? When we took Wan'Dale Robinson, I believe John Mechie went right after him.
Yep.
And I was, honestly, I was fuming at the time. I was like, why?
Yeah.
But doing a little bit of research, doing a little bit of, my own, getting off my own high horse for a second and actually giving these guys the benefit of the doubt. You have to look at this from the perspective of they're getting guys to fit their system on top of filling roles as far as depth before you start to go out next year and you start to put your stars in place. Look at what Buffalo had in the time where, Dable was running their offense. And this is actually coming from, I wasn't even thinking about this myself. This is actually coming from an interview that he was on with Tiki and Tierney earlier. Dable, when he came in with Josh Allen, had Isaiah McKenzie, he had John Brown, they went and got Cole Beasley. So you had receivers out there with similar skill sets. So having a guy on the field like Wan'Dale Robinson and Kadarius Toney at the same time, that's not out of the ordinary for them. On top of the fact that if you got two guys like the two of them with pretty much the same, I mean, it's not going to say it's exactly the same because Kadarius Toney is ridiculous. But when you got guys that have a similar skill set like that, God forbid one of them goes down, you don't have to sit up here and change your entire offense up just because of the fact that you had plays designed specifically for this particular guy to run, and now he's unavailable to you. So you're not losing out on that when you got multiple people that can actually play the same role. On top of the matchup nightmare that it's going to cause, as you brought up earlier, for another team if you got two of them on the field at the same time, God forbid on the same side of the field. I know both of us were looking at different tight ends other than Bellinger, but Bellinger's the guy that we ended up with. I know you were pretty big on Dulcich, as well as I was looking at Isaiah Likely and Cole Turner,
and Cole.
But yeah, and Kolar as well. But like I said, we went through hundreds and hundreds of mock drafts where I'm sitting up here just picking out names where I'm like, all right, I'm keeping an eye on this guy, I'm keeping an eye on this guy, I'm keeping an eye on this guy. Bellinger was a guy that I wasn't really focused on because by the time I came around his name, and you can talk whatever you want about Pro Football Network's rankings. I was never seeing him go off until the 6th round. So I'm like, all right, by that time, I will have had my tight end already. So I wasn't really paying that much attention to him. But just from hearing the scouting report on him, he's a guy that was incredibly underutilized. So he's a really big question mark. But he's a guy that we still need because you need a guy that can come in there and block. The other two tight ends that we have on the team, Ricky Seals-Jones and what the other guy, I can't remember his name off the top of
Jordan
my head.
Akins.
Yeah, Akins. Both of them are primarily pass-catching tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
And if you need guys to come in there in line and actually play some power football, that's sacrilegious to say nowadays or whatever, actually line up and just run somebody over in today's football. But you still need to be able to control the clock at times. So that's a guy that he's going to be able to come in there. He's going to help out doing that as well as being able to be something of a threat if drawn up in the right way by Dable and by Mike Kafka to actually be a threat in the receiving game as well. Now, I'm skipping over this just because I know what's the name is still Brett is still going crazy in the chat about these UNC offensive linemen that we got, but on the Flott real quick because like I said I'm gonna skip over them just to keep him in suspense. On the Flott is he's a weird case for me just because of the fact that he's an SEC defensive back, so he's out there against good competition. The one thing that I'm worried about with him right now, and yeah, he is going to fix it because, he's going to put on his grown-up weight soon, is the dude is 170 to 175 pounds right now. You cannot play at that weight as a defender in the NFL. So you're going to have to put some weight on, bro. Like, seriously. You need to find your way to one of these restaurants over in New York, find yourself, some barbecue. I'm pretty sure Jake can help you out. But we're going to have to do something, man. Because, like I said, this 175 as a slot corner, no, we're not doing that. Like, you're not going to be guarding Devontae Smith's 148-pound ass all the time. All right? It's not going to work. But, that being said, like I said, him as a slot corner in the SEC, up against even his own team, going up against guys that were just on the LSU lineup, going up against guys like Jamar Chase, my son, going up against a guy like John Mechie, going up against guys that were in that conference. He's out there playing against, receivers that are in the NFL starting as number ones. So he has the experience up against these guys. So he needs to go out there and actually prove that the pick was not a bad pick. Right? Prove that he can actually play in that slot spot, or if he needs to, step onto the outside. Because as of right now, like I said, we're looking at a secondary of James Bradbury who may be here. I'm hoping that he's here because there really isn't an answer as a number one right now.
Nope.
Adoree Jackson. And then you're looking at, you're God damn it, I swear I keep forgetting this kid's name. It's your boy.
Darnay.
Yeah, Darnay Holmes, Aaron Robinson, Rodarius Williams, and a couple of the guys that we just picked up this past offseason. We got our secondary is incredibly young. So that's a guy that we're going to need around. Linebackers. I love them. I absolutely love them. There's really not a whole lot I can say other than that what you said already. McFadden looks like a guy that's going to be out there either pushing or starting alongside Blake Martinez. And Darian Beavers is going to be a freaking monster. An absolute monster. Now, our UNC guards. Now, here's the thing. Once again, you gotta, with any draft, you have to give it about 2 to 3 years to actually give a real concise grade on it, because everything right now is just speculation and emotion. They did not do well this past year. However, if I recall correctly, Izunu was one of the guards that was blocking for a certain New York Jets running back by the name of Michael Carter, as well as a certain Denver Broncos running back by the name of Javonte Williams, both of which who went over 1,000 yards. I'm pretty sure Saquon is a little happy about that. And the other one ain't nothing but a project. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at the rest of the offensive line. What are we worried about with this dude? If he doesn't pan out, oh well. What, 5th round pick? Too bad. It is what it is. All right. Now, I then skipped over both of them. My God, night one. We were on an absolute high that night.
Oh yeah.
Kayvon, to a point, because of the fact that I was so certain that he was going to go to the Jets, wasn't even on my radar. I did not think he was getting past 4. And when they took him out, I'm like, you know what? This is a possibility. I still want Neal right now because I'm scared that Carolina's going to take him.
They probably
But
were.
this is a possibility. So, when Sam came out, and shout out to Sam Prince, when he came out and he announced that Kayvon Thibodeau pick, my jaw dropped. I'm like, whoa. And all of the talk about whether this man has a love for the game, you know, whether he's, you know, too into his own brand and all this other stuff, shut the fuck up. All right? I'm done with that. All right? We have not had a defender with this much, not even so much this much personality, but this much confidence in himself since Michael fucking Strahan. Oddly enough, who's mentoring this young man? Michael Strahan. All of the reports that I have seen, all of the analysis that I've seen, has said he reminds people of O.C. Umenyiora with that explosive first step. If that man could be even the slightest bit of what O.C. was for this team, we got ourselves a star. Because O.C. Umenyiora, when he was here, he was never number one because you had guys like Michael Strahan and Justin Tuck. But that man was a monster. And there was never any doubt in that. And then the guy that I spoke into existence, the man that I have been banging the table for since before the season ended, we picked this man up at number 7. Mr. Evan Neal, welcome to the New York Giants. Do not let me down. I'm done. You ain't got nothing else to hear from me.
I mean, like, that's pretty much it. Like, what else can you really say to it? You know, that's really it. It's just gonna set up, like you said, it'll set us up for the future. That's really it. Anything else before we get out of here? I mean, that's it. We're done.
I need some food.
Nope, Jay's passed out.
Yeah.
No,
no.
I'm not. I'm just on Twitter trying to find whatever new news I can find.
Nah, I'm messing with you, bro.
You guys are so disrespectful. You guys had the floor. We were so set here, attentive and listened and asked questions, interacted with you. As soon as the Giants news came on, you guys just couldn't be bothered. You guys put your heads down, turned
It's
this
not
out.
that I couldn't be bothered.
Yeah,
You didn't say
you
anything to
guys
make
just-
me react. Like,
you
I
guys
agree.
just-
We've already had this talk. I agree
You
with
guys
you.
just-
The only thing I
Yeah.
perked up for is because I
This-
don't think I
this
didn't
is wild.
realize that you guys had heard anything that James Bradbury was going to stay on the team. Last I heard, they were probably going to end up just cutting him for cap space because they need to sign the rookies.
I
Now
don't
you're saying
think
they might
can.
restructure him. Or move
They're
him.
gonna have to. They're honestly gonna have to. The way our secondary is set up, I don't trust any of these guys. You know, as far as the rookies go, even with Aaron Robinson, I don't trust them lining up as number 2 right now, especially in a division where you got to line up against Devontae Smith and AJ Brown at the same time.
So I'm saying, like, you can't sit here and there's no way you can, cut Bradbury. And like, I know I read stuff about like them possibly cutting Bradbury, looking for a cheaper option or whatever. But I'm like, you can't cut Bradbury and turn around and I don't even know who another option would be. I guess they'd have to again wait till all the undrafted free agents get into mini camps and stuff, and maybe a veteran gets cut. But I don't know who you could really bring in.
Somebody brought up Jimmy Smith. Is he even available? And if he is, why is he available?
He's got to be older at this point, but obviously it would make sense just because of a Martindale defense. It would make the most sense. But again, like to what we've been saying, like you don't cut your best corner and then like just kind of leave everybody else out there. It's like okay, now Adora, you're leading the group of corners, and you're all like 5'10" and 5'9" and under, and it's you, Aaron Robinson, Darnay, Rodarius, Jaron, nah, you need somebody's got to lead that group, So I think at some point he's going to get. I think at some point, like you said, he'll get extended. They'll get another year out of him. Then probably the next year will be some type of voidable contract, and they'll move on from him. Something like that's gonna happen. I know Shane doesn't want to dip into next year's money, but I mean we got a good amount of it.
He actually already has, so it's like not. It's whatever at this.
Yeah, I know he has already, like once or twice already, but I know he wants to stop doing that.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to have as much as possible, but it is what it is. We'll see. But if nobody else has anything else, all right, we're done here.
Real quick.
Yeah. This is the second time I asked if anybody anything else, and now you want to say something. So you Jets fans, kill me. Like,
real quick.
Dang, Jay needs sleep. Then he needs food.
Thank you for that.
And sleep.
Keep following us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
It's hard to find good help. On that note, smash the like button, guys. Please help us out. Like, follow, share, comment, interact with us. Usually we have a good time. Thank you, everybody that watched us. Have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Go up for the rest of the work week, everybody. We're out of here. Good night.
Hey, and shout out to the Warriors for playing like shit and actually still being up by 2 points.
You're part of the problem. I'm trying to get you food. And you're done. We're out of here.